and Invoker is very limited in terms of utility in the lane. Like you said, he has this one tornado, but aside from that, he can't really fight back. His base damage isn't great, his armor isn't that great. Monkey King, if he ever gets the procs in, is going to go for it. All right. It is probably going to be an offlane Monkey, though, as it looks.
Interesting.
Mid-Ember.
It could also be an offlane Shaco, which we've seen a lot in this tournament.
It could.
And just to add on to that point about Monkey King versus Invoker, Monkey King is actually quite nice because when Quastox Invoker attempts to rotate around the map, Monkey King can match his pace very easily. He's not one of those mid-heroes who needs to sit there and farm forever. He can do that, but he can also join these side lane fights very early on.
All right.
The concern for that is just he's playing versus Mars and Arena. It cuts down his trees and it's a counter in that regard, but it doesn't seem like they're going to be too concerned about it.
With the draft finalized, I'd like to ask you first, Effie. Pick whichever team and tell me the weaknesses and the strengths of that draft.
Well, we still didn't talk about the last two picks, so I'm trying to think about them in like larger context. But this Ember pick is quite good, right? Because what did they lack versus this IO? The backline jump. And they are going to have that in Shaker and Morphling later on in the game, but they do need that hero who can go in first. And because of having this Ember, it actually enables Ancient Apparition, because Ancient Apparition is a hero that likes to shoot his ults out whenever he has them. So in order for that to happen, they can't just sit back and wait for a Shaker blink timing, right? So Ember really makes up for Shaker's weaknesses in that sense. Oh, and it is a position for Monkey King, actually.
Closing thoughts on
Monkey King at 5 Mars.
Closing thoughts on what you love about OG, please.
I love OG's pace here. They can play super fast. Crosswix Invoker, Ursa Wisp. There's so much tempo. Tusk. Secret's lineup needs a little bit more time to build up, so I think OG are going to play super hyper aggressive in this game, play very explosive Dota. If Secret can weather the storm and get later, I think their strategy is most likely going to win this game. Okay. So a very clear contrast between the two styles here with aggression versus more tempered gameplay.
And you asked about weaknesses in particular. I would just say that OG does have to play very well around these first couple of Aegises.
So you heard my panelist conclusions, but there's one
welcome back, guys.
His name is BSJ, and he'll be giving you the last word for today.
Thank you very much, Brian. Yes, looking forward to this one massively. Secret versus OG up here in the upper bracket. Fog, we've had the draft in front of us.
Yep.
What are you excited to see? I'm already seeing so much that I'm sure the fans of both teams at home are going to be very excited for this match.
Lots of combo plays, lots of speed, especially from the side of OG, as panel has been saying, and like Brian did tick it off. Very kind of different styles that we'll be going for. Obviously, OG is going to be looking to set pace with this Ursa, with this Invoker moving around the map, but it's different. It's this fun that we're starting to get to see from them so much. It's the IO3.
Yes,
so.
and I mean, we saw sort of course, OG do this before.
Yep.
And this game again, why do you feel it works so well for them here in this first match against Secret?
I think it's just something they're super comfortable with. Seb's been playing it so many times, and they've always been a team about amping up their carries, right? What better than having like an IO that gets these high levels, fast-paced, like level 4 overcharge online, tether as well. You get items faster, your mech, your holy lock, hot lock it. You set the tempo even faster as a 3-position IO than you were like a 5. Sure, mech is really cheap, so we see it picked up very early anyway on those like 5 IOs, but now it's like Seb is going to have it, and he's going to have these crazy levels that increases the healing as well, because that's what tether does when you get levels. So.
And you do sort of agree with Cinder in the sentiment, really. He says very much, you know, you're looking at this game, this draft, and we know, of course, how OG likes to play.
Yep.
OG this game, they are going to want to, and they kind of need to play fast, because down the line, what this more Shaker is, you just don't want to sort of get yourself into territory where you're having to deal with the fact that one of your heroes might get one shot.
Absolutely, and they're just going to get this crazy scaling. The team team fight. Also, if you just look from Secret, it's a bit stronger as the game does progress. Once you start getting these levels on that Shaker, the AA, even the support Monkey King, it just starts to make everything a bit of a disaster for OG. But if they get a good tempo set, they have a good gold lead, then they're going to be able to still chain these kills. But we'll see if they can do that. But they do have the lineup to be able to. And tag team, Overcharge, Ursa, Alacrity. You know, Roche is going to die quite a lot of times in this game.
Absolutely, and we're definitely going to see OG get a lot of usage, as you say, out of those sort of early brawling abilities that are really going to amp them up and make it rather hard for Secret to go toe-to-toe with them in the sort of the earlier half of the game. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a brief pause. I believe that the teams are just getting themselves ready and all sorted so we can get tucked in for a whole complete game of Dota 2, which, as I say, you know, we're going to have action from the minute one, really.
Yes,
with this,
exactly. I'm wondering if, let's see, we'll probably see level 1 smoke from
Absolutely.
OG. They've got tag team, they've got IO. They've got the stronger level 1, even though sometimes it's a bit awkward because you have something like an IO and you're running to like Shaker. There's a Monkey King and an AI on the other side. There's a Morphling on the other side. So OG is going to look to hit hard right from the start of this game. And let's see if they do some, like, maybe, I wouldn't say like tri-lane or anything like that, but maybe just for the start, get a quick early kill on the Morphling, then swap the lane up. Could definitely see a possibility for the IO, the Tusk, and the Mars, since Tusk just works so good when you have so many more heroes for tag team.
Yeah. And so looking at the mid lane, you know, Nisha versus Thompson here on the Ember versus Invoker. How do you expect that one to go, right? Thompson's not going to be too upset with the matchup, right? He's going to...
He should be okay.
Works Invoker, you can play around with the Ember quite a bit.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of, you got like good base damage. Sure, your Flame Guard's gonna get dispelled in some situations, but you should be able to get these last hits. You're gonna be able to pull creeps back, and you know, water runes are a thing. So all these heroes that can still go for the bottle, like Ember Spirit when you're playing versus Invoker, you're gonna have that good sustain that just comes from it naturally. Well, he doesn't. So I know Brian was heavily talking about Saksa in this upcoming game, and I think we'll probably see him a lot of times looking to make those moves around those water runes early on, even the 6-minute rune.
I mean, and the same to be said for Yaps on the Monkey King, or is he going to be more needed in the lane, really? Is he going to have as much freedom as Saxa is to sort of roam around and look towards that mid to help sort of push the matchup in their favor?
I think it's more going to be Saksa checking, but yeah, he'll check. He'll check as well on Yapsor. I think he'd like to stay with the Shaker, just it's this melee versus Ursa. You don't want to leave him completely alone, right? So. Even though Shaker has done really well versus most of these melee matchups, Ursa can take advantage of it. Just one little pin from the Mars, even though it's a 5 position, and you should have the chase if there's no Monkey King there. So here we go.
Well, indeed, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The G has been called in chat. We are getting this match underway. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 of Secret versus OG here in the upper bracket. And indeed, of course, smokes up straight away from both teams. Oh yeah, as a lot of potential for quite an early first blood this game.
Let's see if anybody scouts, if anybody breaks it. Of course, we have Yapsor as this courier dressed up, so maybe he'll be able to scout something for his team to allow them to dodge that quick aggression that's going to come. And let's see.
OG coming for the long way round here. They could get the good approach onto the high ground.
Immediately skills Cold Snap. That's the other thing, too. Just always want to point out, some Invoker we have seen at this tournament are still in the Wex level 1 to get the EMP for the lane. That tells me even more they want to find the battle. And the taunts, of course, come out from Seb, claiming that high ground. Yeah. And Secret doesn't want to fight. They know that it's too strong.
Absolutely not. No, you don't want to run into OG level 1.
No.
Especially when they've got the heroes they do this game.
See, Yapsor also continuing. He's the courier form. He brings his courier out so that he's going to be able to turn back into courier form as well later on, so he can keep using that. That's why you see it pulled out of the base so early. Something we're seeing a lot more players do.
And overall as well, you know, this game, what's sort of your feeling from the drafts? Like, do you prefer the approach of one of the teams this game?
I've been a bigger fan of speed lately. Yeah. It's going to have to be speed and few mistakes, though, because I've seen very similar drafts like this also from, you know, we got to cast that LGD Elephant game where they had that enormous gold lead the entire game, and then one little slip up, the Morphling, and the combo just ends up taking. That one was a Morph and a Willow, which also is incredibly powerful, but Morph and Shaker has its similarities. So for me, I mean, it's pretty easy, even. It all depends on how the pace of the game starts going. Because if OG gets ahead, they can dictate pace and play around their low cooldowns. If Secret gets ahead early, then I think it might be a little tough for OG to bring it back. Level 1 Puppy gets gone from tag team, instant TP, back to the lane.
That sort of eyes, as I say, both side lanes. I mean, which side lane is the most volatile, do you think? Who's got to be the most careful on this first couple of levels?
I feel like top has crazy potential double melee. Yeah, so it just makes 1 or 2 wrong steps. Same thing for No Tail. There's Jingu skilled right away on the Monkey King too, so that's probably the most volatile for me. Bottom, the Io and Tusk have great kill potential on the AA. However, on the Morphling, I think Matu should be able to hold his own, because once he gets his like level 2, level 3, he's going to have a disengage, and he's also just going to have that incredible attribute shift.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, this top lane, the fact that this Monkey King shares the 2 melees, I guess same could be said for the Mars and the Ursa. A lot of, potential to battle back. I'm sure you're going to see both teams taking early swipes at each other.
Stick is going to be really valuable up there for Zai. He started with it. He's playing versus the Rebuke. Even we expect that Earth Shock to come out from the Ursa early on too. So they're going to have a lot of mana to work with. And yeah, I'd say Secret, I'd give them a slight edge in the laning phase with their heroes the way it's set up at the moment.
So far top. Yeah, might have to be careful there, good Fisher. Just going to put a stop to any aggressive chase there from the 2 of OG. Mid lane Nisha having to play a little careful. He's got some regen out on the way, but rather low at the moment in that matchup so far. 8 for 2, 7 for 1. Pretty even here in the mid.
Thompson's gone just straight for damage. Doesn't finish up the null, just finished up a Robe of the Magi. I feel like he might go something like a drum. We've been seeing it from him quite a lot this tournament, and when he has the IO, and it's all about pace, I think that's something he might be thinking about.
Oh, and there we have it, actually, bottom lane. Sep, he's the one to get first blood. Is he actually going to get sacked out as well? He is. The heals are enough. Saxa doesn't even go down, as we see action on both side lanes, pretty much kicking off at the same time. But, of course, OG, they were the ones to get the kill first.
Bit of a slip up there. I think Matu missed the waveform onto Saxa to get that trade kill. And as we said, Puppy, he's the one who's going to have to eat the brunt of the force most of the time from this tag team. He is securing the farm for Matu, but he's going to die most likely a lot of the times he does go down there.
Matu definitely having to be careful, but so far the first wave, even though losing the support by his side, free farm for the Morph down here, 14 for 5.
And Sumail struggling, since he's got that double melee versus the Monkey King who's holding skill point too. Yapsor may be deciding if he has another opportunity to...
Just get pushed back by the spear there, won't latch though. The Fisher out. Sumail and No Tail, they want to try and get Yapsor. Sumail looking to close in, but the barrel strikes up. Yapsor turns into the tree. They take down No Tail. Now he's going to look over towards Sumail. They've got him stunned. Oh, Sumail does get the kill. Can Zai get him in return? He can't. Sumail's got the boots, the movement speed. He'll make it away. So trade up there on the top line. Well, Sumail may survive, but he's left in pretty bad shape there after that bruise up and still struggling to come to the lane for CS, struggling the most out of all the cores here in the early game, Sumail.
And Zai's always got mana to work with. That's what we're mentioning. These stick charges, he's always got a fissure, he's always got enchant totems. It's a tough one for Sumail.
And Yapsor may have died, but of course able to head over towards the mid. Get Nisha topped up and well.
That's where those deaths are kind of valuable. When you have bottle mids, you can always fill them up. Unlike for the Invoker, they can't fill up Thompson's, because he doesn't have one, obviously.
I mean, what? Ooh.
Okay.
To control the water in here. What can they do about this top lane, OG? Can they make any sort of alterations to get this better for some? They just have to tank this really rough start for the Ursa.
I think they have to tank it as bottom. Puppy getting gone on.
Let's see if they can take this down. The damage from the tag team. It's enough here, Seb. Last hit comes in from the Iowa. Seb certainly off to a hot start indeed. I mean, maybe it will Taxa. No, Matu's got to be cautious.
He's very low.
Seb just sort of beating back into him, stopping Matu from being able to get in and get the trade kill. Sinisha attempt to get aggressive mid with the chains.
Thompson, he's got some creeps on him too. Said low on, he doesn't have enough mana.
Fairy Fire, I'll keep him topped up. Thompson's still alive for now. Nisha, can he still get in this? 11 of a slight chains in about 8 seconds. Thompson's still hanging around. In fact, he's got a stoke, but he has enough to get into the Ghost Walk. Thompson will stay alive.
Really pushing the limit there, though.
Yeah, he
reveals himself.
Oh, Nisha's going to want to dive back in. He's got the slight chains. Thompson, I mean, the flame guard up. Nisha's going to have the damage. Thompson there making a bit of a mistake, getting greedy, trying to reveal himself to keep hitting the creeps, but he had no regen and no chance against Nisha with the second round of spells on the abilities of the Ember.
And Nisha's able, after that kill, walks into the enemy high ground on the triangle and also gets himself a bounty. So that's very fortunate for him. And yeah, big mistake there from Thompson.
I mean, it's, so far, just a 1k lead, but you saw it there in the CS. All 3 of Secret's cores across the board, getting solid farm in the lanes, whereas OG, they're having a bit of a slower time in the mid and that top lane.
And Secret's the one who, as we were mentioning, later game scaling is really good. You see this Morphling having a way better start than the Ursa. It's definitely some concern. So I think Saxa, he's going to have to be the one that we look at to kind of fix these lanes up for the team. Seb's done pretty damn good, but he's going to have to especially help out Sumail up top.
Absolutely. We're going to see big moves from Saxa.
Yeah. It's only level 3 too. It's not like he has this insane type of level advantage where you see some of these 4 positions have. YapzOr is actually level 4 before Saksa hits it, so a little bit harder to make all those aggressive moves when you don't have all 3 of your early abilities, like the snowball, especially versus something like Earthshaker and Monkey King. Snowball, very useful.
That's Hobson.
Nice
I'll
to
be able to get in and take that away from Nisha. Looking for the bottle refill.
Yeah, just not slowing down Matumba, man. A definite concern.
Sumail's starting to get a bit more space. The pressure's definitely begun to lessen a little bit top with YapzOr making those movements over towards the mid, so a bit of breathing room for the Ursa here.
Only for a second or so, because Zai is going to hit 6 really soon. Looking to make the move, Matu.
I'm going to try and go on Matu. Not quite enough damage there to stop him from shifting. Still have the chase down with the tag team. It's not enough. He's got the strength built up. Matu will be able to walk away.
Zai likely to be 6 after this lane, and that's where Sumail's going to have a lot of difficulty as he's still not level 6 on the Ursa.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
He's double melees up there.
The walk in for a potential slam could be deadly.
Does have his treads picked up, so he's a little bit tankier once he's got them on strength.
On Notail, just struggling to sort of trade with YapzOr. Spears off the mark. TP's coming in here for OG. Thompson, he's in with the backup. He's come to try and rectify this top lane for OG. Catch onto YapzOr. He'll set up for a kill between the 3 of them, and this very much needed. OG, they've got to try and get this top lane in a better condition.
And he's got the urn picked up at a perfect time, so he can make that move, and immediately he does queue up the drum. As expected, you know, we've seen him do it a couple of times now, especially when they have the IO lineup, and as we said, OG, the slow start is here, but the pace of the game is going to get picked up incredibly fast.
Yes, you know, you sort of blink and you miss sometimes with the speed that OG sort of goes from 0 to 100. So it could absolutely still happen here in this early game. Still early days. 7 minutes in, 3 to 4. Less than 1K lead at the moment for Secret. There's still absolutely potential for OG to just explode in these early moments.
YapzOr making the move down bottom. They see him with the wards, but he's here already.
They get a good Primal Spring jumping onto the 2 of them. Nice snowball onto the side. Saksa able to separate them a little bit, but now see if they get into Matumba Man turning into the tusk there to use the snowball against OG. Closes in on Seb, gets the kill, and YapzOr might not even be done. He's got another sprint, a few seconds. Does he want to go up into the triangle? He does. He's keeping his eyes on Saksa. Not quite a little bit slow though, and Saksa will manage to make it back to the safety of his tower with that. But still, as to Seb, the off-lane IO taken out of the lane here.
More space for Matu to heal back up to full from the Morbid Mask. Zai playing careful top, level 7 already. Very close to his Blink Dagger already, 800 off with the treads. Sumail's just had to leave the lane. I don't think he wants to be up there anyway, and they need to start getting better levels on the 2 supports for the side of OG. Otherwise, they're not be able to do that run-at strategy that they want to do in the next few moments.
And YapzOr already been quite the nuisance for OG here, just sort of jumping around with the vision he's giving. And OG, at least with the 2 of them, Saksa and Seb, struggling to really get their hands on this Monkey King in the trees, bouncing around.
Seb already has Holy Locket done, so that's what we were talking about, where you get these items so much faster as this offlane. Gonna be able to make some nice aggressive moves, but they're on him.
He's gonna try and go, but a quick tether over to Saksa will break the distance.
He's too fast.
Doesn't even want to commit further there. YapzOr knows, even with the boundless strike, they just don't quite have the damage, even with the 3 of them to blow up Seb whilst he has Saksa by his side.
Not quite yet. Puppey still only level 5. I thought they were going to actually move the Morphling out of the lane and then send the AA bottom to get that 6 early on to deter OG from going that run at you, since once they have AA6 also, you know, Holy Locket is online for IO, but that's going to be counteracted quite heavily when Puppey does get 6.
Absolutely, yeah. He can land these blasts. It will be a complete thorn in the side here for the way that OG want to fight in that mid game.
And they have setup, right? They have Shaker Fissure, they have Chains, they have Monkey King Bound the Strike, a lot of different ways for them to set up that blast. That's 10 minutes.
Over towards Nisha, but is he going to be able to set up anything on them? No, doesn't want to try. Thompson, just get the initial grab here. Nice CMP. And he was waiting for it. Sumail, he was ready. Sumail, if he gets this, it's going to be a lovely kill here for the Bears. Sumail set up in perfect position. You know, he's had a bit of a sad time in the jungle, but he's able to head over to the mid lane, get a kill on Nisha. Top lane as well, OG, they turn over towards Zai. Have a little bit of a wait there to really amp up that final blow there that Notail delivers to Zai.
Zai used Echo up there too, and they were able to sustain up from the IOTP. Then now it's going to be on cooldown for a very long time, which is going to be a signal to OG.
Yeah, I mean, this is
to run.
Look at Sumail now. We saw how rough of a start he had. He's second-highest in the net worth there, getting that pick up from that huge kill on Nisha in the mid.
And they're pressuring bottom now with the 5-position Mars with the IO. Matu's had to leave the lane.
You can feel it, that the pressure, it's building up from OG. It really is. Thompson getting deep in the jungle, looking for Puppey. Has his mana gone? Has he got enough damage on his zone? And, the Urn might tick him out. Backup comes in. He gets the kill, Thompson, but it looks like he's probably going to die for this, as he's trying to escape them, but there is no running from Zai, Nisha, and Yapzor. So he gets in, he gets a kill, but maybe a little too deep that time from Thompson.
He did force 4 heroes there, though.
I guess that's space.
Space for IO to get the finished farm bottom,
true.
Tusk to get the levels top, Ursa to get more farm too. So at the end of the day,
yeah,
it's a Thompson move, because that's what he likes to do. Sacrifice himself for the greater good. Zai does have a Blink Dagger finished up, though, off of that kill. So there is going to be some responses that come out from Secret after they get those kills. Also, a Maelstrom finished up on the Ember, so Secret does have a bit of a timing where they can fight back. That's the one thing, is we were talking about how OG is looking to set tempo constantly with this fast-paced draft, but it's not like Secret isn't going to be able to fight back with their heroes.
Absolutely not. Yeah, Secret, they'll certainly be ready to have a shot back at them and see if they can set up to sort of make a jump and a good reveal with that Blink Dagger on Zai's Shaker. Smoke up already. In fact, from Yapzor and Nisha, they're leading the way up top. It's just Saxa up here at the moment, soaking up some XP around the tower. Matu starting to take the tower. They'll dive in straight away. Set up there with the chains, in with the Remnant. TP's coming in. It's actually going to continue top. And he does want to try and look for the counterplay. Rugon's command is down. Jump off the side. Nisha is able to break away with that last bit of mana. Blast goes crashing straight over to Seb. Headshot there from Puppey. As he lands it on the IO, no healing for Seb. Seb's out. Thompson trying to run, but the sentries, there are plenty here from Secret as they lay them both down. Thompson, he's got the move speed though to get out of the range, so Thompson will sneak away. But a big hit there from Secret up on the top lane, and that's the move you said. They knew that OG, despite losing Saxa at the start, OG's the kind of team that will turn up and try and fight around that tier 1. Secret, they were prepared completely for that.
And look at the pace. They're smoking again instantly, though. The smoke's going to break.
It is. They know they're in the pit. Puppey's going to know exactly what's going on, surely. Smoke dispels, he checks it out. This is risky from Samael and Saxa. They've got to run down side. He's in, catches the 2 of them, jump over the road, and balance straight forward. They're both dead.
And it's half HP. They might consider even going if they get some more kills.
Ready to chase up to the high ground. Thompson has said we'll be able to hold them back. Quick slide from Nisha, keeps them low, but will heal the 2 of them up. But as you say, Roshan, it's in a bit of a juicy position here for Secret. Still, it's not too easy for them to really go for it, though.
Yeah. Big hit, though. Nisha with some really nice individual plays there, dodging out the EMP, dodging out the Mars, everything around that tower, setting them up now for a 2K lead, and still looking to respond.
Trying to set things up there. No, quick poke stops Matu from being able to lead in.
That hurts OG quite a lot.
I mean, it was a risky play there, trying for that Roche. A very, very risky move. Does not pay off. Secret shut it down.
And they weren't even looking for the Roche. They were just smoking to move across the map, and they're like, oh, wait a minute. Look at that. So very fortunate for the side of Team Secret, having a Haster now on the Ember Spirit. Zai, as we mentioned, Echo Slam still on cooldown, but they responded in great force versus the aggression of OG. Even though the relocating the numbers are attempted to be there from OG, Secret was ready. And as you mentioned, the snipe, of course. Puppey getting that big AA blast on the IO. That's going to be the crucial thing.
He's going to do every time, yeah.
This IO, if you look at 20 Holy Locket smack, he's going to be able to like full heal anybody they do go on, unless that AA blast does come over.
Absolutely, all about Puppey getting that hit in. I see OG. I think they pretty much have the defusal done on Samael, so yeah, it's just a few hundred gold off it. Any sort of other items at this stage that each team is waiting upon to have their sort of next power spike?
I don't think so at all. I think that
just go when they want.
Secret is extremely happy with this pace of the game right now. Morphling, like Matu's just getting to free farm while they're also still defending towers. I think OG just needs to keep looking to make these plays. I think if they sit back and look to wait for something, the game's going to quickly fall out of their favor. I
mean, well, yeah, as you say, you're seeing more for the top net worth here, yes. And if that's happening, Secret's happy.
Yeah, they've got defusal now. They got a medallion also on the Invoker. This is another go time. Smoke up, look for a play immediately with this.
There we go, in immediately from OG, Seb. Samael and Notel. Seb, of course, ready to take Samael in with a relocate if Notel finds a solid setup for the arena.
They have to start finding these big kills. Slow down the Morphling, slow down the Ember Spirit. Still difficult though.
Okay. Go for the D ward here. So Secret will be aware that they're coming in from the side. Secret grouping up here in preparation for some sort of jump from OG.
And they've got the big ultis. That's the one thing, Secret, especially if they've got the high ground advantage. They have those humongous team fight ultimates in comparison. OG a lot more limited because it's a 5-position Mars who has to walk his way in to try to place his arena.
I mean, some excellent moves there from Saxa, moving himself and all illusions independently there. So Secret did have to guess a bit what was happening. Sumail, he's trying for the Roche again. He's in the pit. He's getting bashed. You know, he will be able to jump out there away from the Fisher, but I mean, they really want to try and get this for Sumail. But again, it's just such a risk when Secret's all up at the moment. As you say, Secret, they're more than happy to jump in for the fight. I don't know if you're ever going to be able to get Roshan like this if you're OG.
But they have to. That's the lineup. They need to get that Roshan advantage for the Earth. So that's why you see both teams just heavily emphasizing in the area. But yeah,
Secret's not going to let him.
Secret's got this Ice Vortex, 40 mana. I mean, Puppey can pretty much infinitely throw it in there to get the scout if he's in the area.
It's very hard for OG to find. They need to get some action first.
Showing the IO top, Seb. So have to be a bit careful of his positioning. He split away from the Ursa too, so that means the relocate play is not going to be available for OG to get the numbers. So Secret, they're looking to catch him. When he split away.
If they can get the setup, but a little too deep here. TP immediately comes in from Saxa. Rest of OG starting to head up as well. So Secret, they won't dive any further. Yeah, as long as Secret can sort of keep the pressure on, keep OG distracted and away from Matu, they're only going to be able to increase that lead that Matu had. About 1k ahead of the farmer Sumail. Matu much more happier to just spend time hitting the creeps. He is going to step at OG, they're right on the shadow here. And Matu knows. He's keeping it cautious, keeping it cool, and making sure that OG can't get the jump on it.
He's going to have his Manta done any second now. And then he's going to go straight for that Aghanims afterwards, as we expect with that Earthshaker combos. And as we've seen to expect and come to expect from when he's playing this Invoker, he sometimes does go for this more buff-up strategy, just the Alacrity plus that Solar Crest to make his Ursa, or whichever edge carry that much stronger.
Absolutely, just give Sumail the best game he can possibly give him.
Yep. No tail sneaking in, but he's under vision.
I'm going to start things on him. He'll put the arena, but a quick jump from Nisha. Dodges the spear. Backup's coming in from the side. Thompson buffed up by Seb as they look to lead in. Saxa, he's caught Zai's one at the top left to stop Zai from being able to get the jump in. He empties down Zai's out of mana. Seb caught by the chains, hit by the blast as Seb goes down.
Nisha, time and time again this game, dodging the spears, dodging the Mars ults, dodging the EMPs, just being a rightful nuisance for OG.
A good read from Saxa, though. That fight could definitely have gone a whole lot worse for OG. Saxa just making sure that he can find Zai's Shaker at every possibility.
Zai's resetting though, going back to base, healing up, and still got Echo Slam. They didn't have to commit anything big on the side of Secret. AA Blast still cooldown for 30 though.
I mean, OG's still trying to fight into it. You see Saxa and Thompson coming up the high ground. He's going to jump, start the fight straight away. The Invoker snowball over from Saxa. Gives the time for Thompson to reset. Matu, wait for in. Trapped in the shots, he'll get taken down. Rukul Tamar comes down. Nisha with a newly picked up BKB ready to brawl. Runs down Saxa, turns over towards Sumail. Sumail trying to put the erase to get out of there. OG, have they got any backup for Sumail? Sends back out with a relocate. Sumail now without the ult, he's in trouble. Matu turns into the touch, uses the shot, but Sumail's able to Earthshock out of there. Yapsor up into the sky, but they cut him down. They cut him down for the drink. Spear comes out. Ice block, Boundless strike straight onto Thompson, but Thompson, he's still trying to turn and fight. He can't survive for it all. He'll go down. No tell, over to Yapsor, Sumail. He's on from a Puppey to fall. They found the number. OG will come out on top of this fight.
Right next to Roche as well.
This is what they were looking for. A huge fight for OG, sets up the Roshan with 3 still dead on Secret. There's no stopping OG from taking this.
And take the brunt of the force, but the AA Blast, as we mentioned, it got it nerfed so many times in the past, was still on cooldown for a good 20 seconds when they initially jumped Thompson. The heals come out, and then they're able to pretty decently turn the fight. Matu's still alive, though, does get a kill while the Roche is claimed by Sumail. But a pretty solid fight for OG, all things considered. When it's a BKB reveal on Nisha, and the Wukong's command was there layered from the whole fight.
I mean, it looked like it was going to fall apart for OG as well. You see this chase. Matu was a cool moves here as the Tusk trying to control Sumail, but he couldn't. Good control as well, taking Yapsor out of the trees, stopping that spring jump fall, which would have allowed them to kill Thompson off much quicker.
That spear was huge.
As OG, that was exactly the fight they needed here to begin to get that momentum, that sort of power back under their wings.
And look at this, Sumail is going to go straight for that Aghanims build on the Ursa. Just more survivability. He's going to be able to constantly be that rightful nuisance inside the fights, stick on targets. Again, the bottom.
Oh, goodbye, Thompson. Out along his own. I mean, Seb,
reload.
He might be in trouble as well.
Boy.
Did try and come in to help out. He's pretty tanky, not tanky enough to deal with Secret beating him down. They got to get out of there, the rest of OG. No fights to be had. There's a bit of a slip up, and Seb getting baited into it as well.
Can't make too many of those mistakes. Even though you've got this Aegis and all that, you know, you've got this quick pace lineup, you don't want this game to drag on. You don't want to allow this Morphling to finish up and farm that Aghanims, which he is going to get eventually in this game. He's already got one component. So they've got the blink now on No-Tail, so just keep going. That's the one thing, is they have to still look to keep making these plays, even if they do lose Thompson every now and then. It's just what they have to do with their draft. Otherwise, as we say, they will get outscaled.
Well, let's see how much they can get done with this Aegis.
See how much they can get done.
Blink. 3 minutes to really push the issue here for OG.
See what No-Tail finds with his blink reveal.
Set up mid. He's trying to look for the jump. No-Tail. He's in with the counterplay. Comes in with the arena. But is there actually any backup? I don't know if there is. No-Tail just ends up dying immediately after he looks to initiate. Yapsa inside. They are low. Saxa, he's got the catch straight over to one side. Zinfall from Matu. Then Matu's ready to turn and fight back. Another kill there for Zai. Zai will survive. Change. Locking down the two of them. Seb comes in. He'll toss it back up to full HP. He got the move coming out, but immediately put it on stop. Matu focused out by Sumail. They're ready to try for more. Yapso pouncing off to the side. The Colts now. Nisha, he's in trouble. He's trying to remnant out of it. Will have enough mana to jump over to the side. They're looking to hunt him down. They know he's gone south. They're checking out the high ground, and with the Sunstrike, Sumail close to the gap again. Yapso with the balance for the trees, holds back the bear.
Dominating.
Papiosa, now Zai.
I mean, underneath the tower, it's a little deep here for OG. Jump forward, see Sumail, and get Zai here. He's got the heal of Seb. Sumail actually gonna live. He's actually gonna live here. Triple game, they might get Yapsa as well. He's been caught off the trees. Another. Sumail with the ultra kill. Getting it done here. OG turn it up. They look for the fight with the Aegis. They've still got that Aegis ready for another round. Sumail getting some huge kills there. Nearly level 18. And now we can look to start working on that BKB.
Look at the damage he was able to do in the fight. It looked a little weird because No-Tail starts the fight and they didn't have the backup initially, but in the midst of the fight, don't know if everybody saw it on the side of the cameras, the Io Spirits clipped the Shaker. Zai actually echoed the floor when they were trying to make the big go to Ursa. Either way though, they were still an Aegis, they were still getting all the full heal. OG getting this big ramp up going for them, and I do believe Secret needs to be a little bit more careful with their ice blasts. They just throw it onto Thompson every single time, but it's got a 60-second cooldown. There's likely only one going to be in every single one of these team fights. They have to prioritize it on the big heals, as we've seen Seb now just chunk up his teammates with that. And Thompson is the sacrifice.
There we go. OG. No slowing down, of course, from this squad.
Nope.
1-5 finishes, they're already thinking about how they're going to start the next jump onto Matu.
Right away.
Got the cold snap, good Fisher from Zai, holds back the three-wave format. The snowball's going to be there to chase up with the hot ground. Sumail, he still wants to go. He's still going in. He's diving in onto Matu. The swipe spilled on. Sumail takes him down. Back to the low ground. Nisha managed to get out of the back lines. Kills off No-Tail with the BKB looking to commit. Kills off Thompson as well. Sumail, still 40 seconds on the 8. Yaps off in the tree line, lines up onto the 2. Saxa, buying time with the snowball.
Oh.
He's going to be running pretty deep here, Saxa, but Sumail, meanwhile, finding Zai underneath the tier 2. And Saxa, he's also going to be able to walk out of it.
He's got his blink now. Oh boy. OG really starting to find their footing, and with the blink too, now there's more ways to save his teammates from combo plays. With Aghanims on Ursa, how are they going to combo Sumail down?
Yeah,
he can just pop the enrage every single time when he's getting gone on. This is going to be a bit of a problem because they don't have any forms of silence at all on their team. So Enrage, of course, could be able to be popped whenever you are stunned up. Because of that, Ags, this is problematic for Secret.
Oh, he's
such a big Ursa.
He really is. He played it so cool in the early game. That's a pent-up rage from suffering in that sort of laning phase where he couldn't hit the CS. It's coming out now from Sumail.
Yeah, level 20 already at this point, and he's not letting Matu have a fun time in the fights. Even though Matu did have such a good time in the early game, the Ursa's just staking on him. The defusal is a problem.
Yeah, Matu has to run every time. He cannot fight back against this Ursa. Thompson. He's not going to be able to get the catch. Nisha is prepared for this.
Didn't get to touch on this either. If we look at Yapsor, he's going for a very build. We've seen a couple times the Atoses into Gleipnirs. I think we saw a couple Orchid rushes, I think on Crit as this 4 position. He's going for the late game. He's going for the Scotty. He's going to be able to apply it to everybody. The slow, the reduced healing as well from the IO2 in the team fights. So as it progresses, as we mentioned, Secret's going to be strong, but...
Saxa's going to find him. Puppey's got a fair bit of damage as well. Saxa, we had to stop the cold V here with a snowball tops, and he'll be able to put a stop to the TP. No escape for Puppey.
Secret's trying to, I think, slow down a little bit here and get those items finished up, in particular Ags on Morphling as well. It's very close to it.
And as she was saying, not far off the Scotty, just about 1,000.
It's pretty close. Seb now has his own BKB, so it's gonna be tough to focus fire him anyway. If they can get the AA blast coverage, if they can get a stun initially on him, then it'll work. But if he gets the BKB off pre-initiations, then it's probably gonna be really hard for Secret to bring down the main focus targets that he's tethered to.
I mean, for OG, is it sort of waiting for the next rush? Do they need to go before, or can they afford to sort of wait, get that Aegis, and then look to make the move again?
No, I think just keep looking for fights. If they run into you, you look for the battle. You've got so many ways to protect your cores. Sumail likely won't die no matter what happens because they can't initiate on him cleaning now because of that Ags that he went for. I really like the pickup this time around that he went for it, since there is no silence that he has to worry about. Always can get your range off, always can allow your IO and your teammates to come back you up.
Got their eyes on No Tail bottom.
Cool. Bit patient for him. And there's the Ag. So Matsu, only level 17, so not quite that permanent uptime that we always talk about from level 18 plus that morph timing, or he will always be in Shaker form.
I love a little pickup as well for Sumail, getting the Mind Breaker.
Yep.
Can be a great one.
Also, I didn't point this one out, but I got the Fake Grenade on the Shaker at 17 minutes. So now we have a lot of potential for some massive burst damage that's coming up from their sides from double, triple totems and whatnot. But OG, as we said, not slowing down.
Absolutely. As soon as someone shows in a lane and they feel that they're alone, they're making moves over there. See top Puppey. It's pretty out of the area though.
How do you go for Sumail? BKB Ags with a tethered IO behind him.
It's so hard.
It's going to be such a difficult target. I have to prioritize. I say somehow I have to find Seb, but it's been very difficult for them. And with the BKB, it's how does Nisha focus fire him? Because that was Nisha's job for the most part this game.
Yeah, it's pretty much impossible to kill Seb at the start unless they open up with some sort of stun lockdown.
Which they have. They've got that Ags
Double
Morphling. Yep. And he's got a Titan Sliver too, so even stronger with that base.
Let's see if they can delete first.
Oh, Puppey says hello.
He's just going to walk in on this. He's going to get hit by the Mind Breaker. He needs help, and he needs it now. Puppey, he'll give the Ice Blast over, but Seb's already put the BKB on. Off to the side he goes. They lose No Tail on the side of OG as Secret able to get to the back of him. So they're going to be any chase. Both teams coming out with the buyback immediately. OG will separate, though. They back off. And just an awkward way, really, for Secret to start the fight. Puppey just heading up on the front lines.
I don't think he expected them to be there that soon. Just walk. I'm also surprised that he's the one that walked up so quick himself. As around the Roche pit, most important timing now for the next few minutes. About 35 seconds until that will spawn. We see OG sitting in the pit waiting.
What's this? Dire fortified their structures? Dire's middle tower is under pressure.
There we go, Secret. Rather far out here. They will finish off the tower. Sumail. He's going to try and jump straight away onto Nisha. Nisha puts the BKB remnant off the side. They're going to go to Seb straight away. Everything thrown down off the eye. They've taken him down. Snowball over from Saxa. Sam does come out for time. Sumail's put the ult, ready to go over for more. Chasing down Yapsor. He'll remove the Monkey King out of the fight. A double kill for Sumail. Now ready to go for something else to the side as he's on top of Matumbaman. Waveform out. Sumail looks to Nisha, but now he's going to be frozen in position. Sumail, he's trying to back out, but the cold feet kicks in. Sumail will fall. No Tail as well. Cut down by Nisha. With the setup there, Matsu comes in for the finishing blow. Secret, this time round, the execution, it's there. They find Seb, remove the IO from the engagement, and suddenly everything becomes a lot harder for OG. Sumail, he still wants to be able to charge in, but he hasn't quite got that same level of sustain that he had before.
And it was them just clear understanding. He used BKB earlier. They knew it was still on cooldown. If they just commit onto him immediately, that IO's dead. Mars used buyback earlier. No Mars, no Ursa for 50.
Just look at this, Seb.
Look how quick they were on him.
Everything just onto this IO, deleted from the team fight.
And then Matu can do whatever the hell he wants inside the fight because now he's got that Ag Shaker. He can just come in and start one-shotting these heroes as now with an Aegis in a very comfortable spot, Secret, as it's only a 1K lead, but I feel like it's going to start accelerating and building up very quickly for Secret. As OG has to be very careful how they take those fights when BKB are on cooldown.
Absolutely, it's just so much stun, so much AoE and control. It's not easy, even with the Enrage alone, to fight through.
It's just such an explosive amount of damage that's coming out. It's like anybody gets seen and they're just dead from these totems. As Matu's just hunting.
I mean, he's trying to go for Seb.
The headband midair. It's a cute little interaction. And of course we do have the IO shard. That's also something that will be coming into play. These little mini stuns that are kind of come out on our Morphling and our Shaker that OG does still have. But yeah, with this, much more comfortable position, Secret to look to make more aggressive plays, and an E-Blade now finished for Matu as well.
So much blast here. Jump forward for No-Tail, but at the same time, Nisha, they're onto Saxa. Seb will lead in. They're looking for Yapso. Matu able to stand his ground for now, though. Yapso finally falls. Matu not able to finish off Seb. Self-E-Blade hit as Matu looks to separate himself from the fight. OG, if they got any further chase, Samael.
The BKBs are
trying to head it. Samael, he's going to be able to blink to dodge the initiation, but now the Ice Blast, the slam, they're holding Samael in position. Seb trying to come over to give it the backup, but now Zai turns his attention over towards Seb. He doesn't have the damage, though, Zai, and Seb will be able to keep himself alive. Nisha's over to the backlines, has chased down No-Tail. Matu, he's looking for Seb. Not enough mana to keep chasing onto the Aya, but meanwhile, Nisha and Puppey, they do get Samael as he's separated from the rest of his team.
There's too much that they have to deal with in the fight. They're trying to focus fire Matu, but then he jumps left. They're trying to focus fire Zai, and he jumps right. Then there's Anisha zipping around to the back lines, killing the supports with fire remnants. It's just so much elusiveness coming out from Secret, and OG does not have the same amount of control that comes out either. They don't have double shakers. They don't have chains and roots coming out anywhere. Much harder fights for them as we're seeing them progress.
And of course, Matu had the Aegis. He's still going to have it for another 3 minutes. Couldn't even get him the once. Definitely the concern starting to show with the sort of draft OG has now that the minutes are passing. 32 minutes in, 5K lead. OG, they've got to look for some phenomenal maneuvers to get Secret knocked back down.
They have the Hex on Thompson, so that'll at least allow them to hold one of those targets down and focus fire them. But yeah, as I was saying, it's just, there's so many things moving around. There's a Monkey King jumping, Amber Remnants. There's so much different chaos that Secret's causing in the fight. And OG has to try to find a way to weather it, but not really seeing too many options as Morphling gets Aegis, he's got Ags. You've lost so much control on the side of OG. This is not the way that their draft wants to play.
Mid lane, No-Tail. We'll find him a bit of a freebie by the looks of it. Puppey Eyes, he does get the blast off there, but now Nisha jumps in with the Remnant. No-Tail's gonna fall. Over to the side, Zai and Yapso controlling Saxa. Nisha's looking to jump over to Outpad as well. I'm ready to go back in with another Remnant. Seb will take the two of them out of there.
Oh.
They get the Hex. Have they got the damage? Somehow. Did not to him, but they haven't. They can't even finish him off the one. Still has that Aegis. Jump back over to Thompson. Thompson trying to run with the E-Blade combo. Comes in. Thompson blown up. Somehow Positive Ray stays on top of him, but that's only the once. He's going to be back for round 2. Nisha jumps in. Control on his Seb. He can't get away.
Good lord. This lineup is ridiculous. Once it's timing, I mean, OG is doing some great grabs of trying to get these pickoffs, but there's just too much control. They're too mobile. They're everywhere.
I mean, it's effectively sort of 3 fishes as well. This Boundless Strike also coming in from Yapso. Just so many lines of stuns thrown straight through the heart of the team fight.
Matu?
Oh!
They get the grab on him.
Have they got enough damage? No, they haven't. In fact, Matu, he's going to look to turn. He wants to get aggressive. He's going to try and get in of them. He's got to be a little careful. Here's the backup he required. Zai jumps in. No-Tail to fall. Look for some able to quick blink. Gets him away from the Fisher.
Nice attempt there from OG, but Secret still in the area. Somehow, even though they were just bought, as we've seen them just flying all over the place on the map, always seem to have the numbers. 12K gold lead. It's quickly swung into their advantage.
And there's quite a confident line there, just straight up into their favor. 91% on the win probability right now for Secret.
There's just too much going on inside the fights. Too many things they have to focus on, while also trying to dodge AA blasts and keep the BKBs at a good timing so that they don't get clipped by it. It's not easy moving forward. And back into Shaker form, back looking for the plays. Secret gonna continue looking for anything. Any type of battle that they can get now. And yeah, really catching their stride. Lincoln's now on Nisha too, so that Hex that we saw, likely to get countered just because of that.
It's going to be so hard to lock him down.
Yeah. And they've got, we did mention that Zapsar was going for a very greedy item build. He did finish it off in those last two fights.
Coming in for the side. Fisher out to Sumail to start things off. Sumail will be able to take a jump off for Nisha over to one Thompson. They're on top of the Invoker. Thompson trying to run. Turns around with the combo. Ice Blast will make, but Matu will not. Straight over onto the Invoker. Matu takes out Thompson. Now to Sumail. Sumail, he needs help, but he needs it down. Seb coming in with the tether. Relocate. Seb will be able to take Sumail out of this fight, but Notel's going to be left behind. As OG, they'll still lose too.
I mean, this might be the most entertaining lineup I've ever seen in Dota. Everyone's just jumping back and forth, and they're still going to lose Seb out of it. 105 seconds.
That's a long time. This could be the window that Secret have been looking for to break the high ground.
Oh, they're feeling it. They're high-fiving. They're feeling that big confidence now after these last, 4 or 5 fights that they've just decimated OG in.
Is under attack. Thanks be to you.
And what can OG do here? 3 dead.
They have to watch. IO is so crucial for their lineup. Likely to just lose at least 2 sets.
Dire's bottom barracks have fallen.
The bottom racks cleaned up. Secret straight over to the mid.
The damage from the totems as well.
I mean, they're diving in a bit onto Sumail. They're tempted. Sumail getting quite the poke under the tier 4. I mean, he's going to jump. They're going to try and get onto the Superman. Can they leave the ice blast coming up? Superman getting low. He's got the shift. He's going to live. Matu will stay alive. Ready to go back over towards Sumail. Sumail will bring down the Morphling, but he himself will lose his life for it. Buybacks coming out from OG. Same for Secret. Matu, he's had enough. He's ready to shut this one down as a second set of racks. I mean, they commit to kill them off. They do get him. I mean, it is in a position now. Matu dies again. The game might start to get a little bit interesting again.
They still have 30 seconds without the IO, though. They might just be able to commit for the racks.
Are they going to look to try?
But potential that they could. And again, it's too many things they have to deal with in the fights. Like you said there, they full commit for the Morphling, but he's not the only problem by any means. So much. Nisha 15, 3, and 20.
Dire's top tower.
And they're also strong right now, Secret.
Creep starting the base though. Those Forge Spirits in the mid lane.
And to push him out.
So that buyback, as you mentioned, might be a bit of a win condition here now for OG if they're able to find him. It's a very difficult one, but
it is.
Got to be careful.
It is there.
Yeah, Matu's just got to be more cautious with his positioning. Oh, look at that, a DD rune. Look at this nice damage on our Morphling. He hasn't even popped the DD yet, but nice 1,300. Actually more, 1,500.
I mean, also knowing that Roshan should be up rather soon again here, so something that is going to offset that risk of Matu using the buyback to get straight back in action.
And finding some big neutral items as well. Timeless Relic picked up on the side of Secret.
Oh my goodness, yeah, give it to these shakers and the stuns.
Or the Ember Spirit. I mean, I'm fine with that too. He's pretty good with it.
That's a lot of damage.
OG.
Sumail. He's found Puppy. He's trying to get him. We'll get pushed back. Saxa goes in the ice blast. Over inside. Jumps in with the Sax. Off in time though. As he turns towards the shaker, takes him. Matu trying to find Notel. Wait for him over to the side set. Bringing Sumail out to the side for now. We'll see the jump. He's taking on top of Sumail. There's the hit. Slams out Sumail. Sumail hits the deck out for 2 minutes on the Ursa.
Look at that damage. Over 1,800 damage on our Morphling.
That's a big number.
He just smacks Sumail, and now Seb returns as well to his death.
And now 3 dead, no buybacks on OG. Secret with the 4 of them up, they can look to run down mid.
Thompson, he showed himself for a second, but whoop, whoop. We'll slip away.
He's trying to create a distraction, sort of push them away from the base, but Secret, they are definitely going to have their eyes on the Megas, and maybe even more. To have buybacks available on Notel and Saxa, but 90 seconds no Sumail, a minute without Seb.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
There's the buyback, Notel. Can they buy any time for their 2 cores to get back up?
It's got to be so scary for Thompson.
I mean, Saxa is going to get a jump in. They are able to get the spear off. They have the damage Sunstrike coming up, but it's with the Bennett. Matu, he's got too much HP. They can't burst through it. Buyback comes out from Thompson, but Saxa will fall. Also with his buyback, looking to try and hold with just the 2 of them. The Secret, the damage is being done. The top backs are gone. The Mega Creeps will be out, and the jump over to Saxa. As soon as he's back in, he's back out again. Redland over to Thompson. Thompson goes down. Everybody dead on OG as Secret, they'll close it up.
GG guys. Aduh.
Team Secret will take game 1 1 of this best of 3.
They went for the strong scaling lineup, but saying that does take away a little bit of how much they're still able to fight in the early game. We see OG trying relentlessly to battle into them, but Secret still has good team fight with this double shaker even before those big levels come out for everybody. And YapzOr's greedy build does pay off with that Scotty later on, and OG, they try to run into it, but a couple too many deaths, especially on top. And he ends 4 and 11, trying to be that support kind of style invoker, but does end up hurting them versus the Secret draft.
Yeah, slowed down big time for him. And Sumail.
Thank you very much, OD Pixel and Fog, for the cast of an amazing match. This puts Team Secret at 1-0. And you know what that means? If they win this next game, OG goes down to the lower bracket for the first time in 3 TIs. That is whoa.
Whoa, what an insane game. What an insane start of the day. First from the Spirits match and now into OG versus Secret. The quality of Dota, the way these two teams played, the chaos that OG did manage to siphon Secret into, but they just waited their timings, right? They got to those timings, and the moment you have Aghanims on Ember Spirit, Shaker Morph combo, everything changes.
I think specifically the itemization coming out of Team Secret was really interesting, cool to look at. Like YapzOr, he rushed a Scotty on a support Monkey King because they had no way to kite Ursa at all. And then all of a sudden you have 4 of Team Secret's heroes with some sort of jump mobility. You know, Morphling, Ember, Monkey King, Earthshaker, all going for the mobility abilities. And Sumail, he was destroying the game beyond godlike, but at the end of the day, he just couldn't output enough damage.
Yeah, I think the one fight where it was like the perfect timing in so many ways, where they had the Morph plus Shaker timing. I think they also had the Ember Ags at that exact point as well. And then in that fight, they finally were able to jump and focus Seb on the IO, who I believe had used BKB in the previous fight. And then after that point, it was just like...
That was around the pit, right?
Yeah, that was
the fight.
Right around the pit. And then for the rest of the game, it just looked like hugely Secret favored. And I do want to give a shout out to Nisha on Ember Spirit. The amount of times that he like frame perfect dodged a spear or something like that into like killing 2 heroes. Yeah. I mean, they could have delayed even without that, but that really helps when you're trying to delay for this late game Morph Shaker timing and you've got somebody playing like that.
Right.
That makes it work.
And they looked broken, right? We were talking about OG and how they ramp up and they build for this one specific power spike. And in this game, even Invoker from that mid lane is playing more of a utility role. The items that they bought, the drums, the corrosion on Tusk, the, what was it, medallion, Solar Crest, it's all, they didn't even buy a vessel, which was necessary when you think about playing versus a Morphling. No, you don't go for that. You just buff up that Ursa. That's why Sumail did have an ultra kill somewhere in that mid game around the tier 2. However, Morphling and Shaker, man, what the... It's been so broken for such a long time, and at such a grand stage, it just strikes again.
One of the things that I heard AUI talk about while we were sitting in the green room watching the match is you said Ember is one of the best heroes right now.
He did say that.
Yeah.
I did say that.
Tell me a little bit about that. What makes you say that?
When I watch these games, I actually think Ember is going to be the hero of the tournament. Like, there's nothing really concrete. But in my head, like how he team fights, he's just going around the fight, providing vision. If you try to chase him, he has 5 remnants on his egg. He slides in between them. He creates so much chaos. And every time you look at the end game screen of the stats, he's like 60k hero damage for some reason, just out of nowhere. It doesn't say there. They tricked us.
Can I just let me just comment Puppy. Even though he spent 3rd most time dead in this game on all TIs, at the same time, he's been playing Ancient Apparition versus IO plus Tusk. That lane is incredibly difficult to stay alive in. He did feed a couple of times, but not nearly as many as I expected.
It's like a good amount of times too, because I think they're able to farm in the bottom lane way more than what I thought. OG had this really cool idea coming in. They'll tether the creep in, so it goes into the tower. You get equilibrium versus a Morphling A, who's supposed to be a weak team, and start zoning them out with Tusk or IO. But Secret, they're able to just sort of, I don't know what happened. They just dominated the lane early and they were able to survive.
They used the tag team first time in the jungle to try and kill the AA, who instantly TPs to the lane, which prevents them from using that tag team in the lane itself, right, for a couple of extra seconds, which allows Matu to get more last hits on those first few waves.
Yep.
Earlier raid band, which translates into him being 15 last hits and like 8 denies in a couple of waves.
Yeah, it could have worked too if they had the tag team, because the lane did immediately push out. Like you were saying, I think when the Morphling pulled to the range creep, the creeps ran into tower, creep wave pushes out double waves, but then without the tag team, and then with Secret getting level 2 timing first, it meant that they could actually farm in the lane.
Right. So I know Dota 2 is a team game, right? There's 5 people on one team, and you guys have been totally promoting like all the players. But if you were to pick one person who would be the MVP of that match, who would it be, Lizard?
Ah, that's so difficult.
I think it's Matu.